Hello, 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 hello.
Yeah. There you are. There's your voice.
There's my voice. There I am.
Just like how Arrow got her voice. Little Mermaid reference. All
Yeah,
right. Didn't know if you
yeah.
got that. Because
I
we
heard
are
it.
talking about under the sea, or shall I say underwater.
Oh,
Underwater. Underwater.
what's going
Where
on,
there was-
everybody?
yeah.
I'm Mac from Concussion Media, and this is also my good compatriot,
Forest.
Forrest,
Yes.
also from Concussion Media. We're here today. We're back. And
In black.
We're back in black
And
and
white.
white. Get it? Because we're black
Yeah.
and white. We're actually doing something very special tomorrow. That thing we kept saying that we're going to be doing, we're finally doing, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
We are doing a year-end. I'm going to bring in a special guest, kind of like a little year-end video thing that we're going to be talking about our top 10 movies of the year. And, yeah, that's all I got to say about that. I'm ready to talk about the movie now.
Right. So if you guys didn't get the hint, we're talking about underwater.
Underwater. If you clicked on the thumbnail of this video, I'm assuming you know what this movie is. Hopefully.
I kind of feel like this is probably about as good as January is going to get movie-wise.
Yeah, I think this
For the most part, there might be like one or two others that might come in strong this month, but I think this was a good January film.
It was
Absolutely.
a pretty solid January film. I would agree, 100%. It was getting like, it was actually it was a very well made movie. I will say, the sound design was phenomenal. The cinematography and the editing was also very good.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really liked how they did this movie.
Yeah, it's mainly just kind of like it's like a surviving situational film.
Yeah,
Basically, it's not really a whole lot of story. Really, just like an accident happens and they've got to get through it together.
they're underwater. They're
6 miles.
6 miles underwater in some type of trench, right?
The Marinas Trench
The Marinas Trench, or
in the
Marianas
Pacific Ocean.
Trench. And
In the Pacific Ocean.
they're dealing like the pressure breaks, the water's coming in, they gotta survive. There's monsters that they're dealing with that live under the sea. And
Under the sea.
what did you think of that creature design of the actual creatures? Were they scary?
No, I thought that they were creative. I for me, I just didn't quite feel them scary. I thought for me, I thought the deaths were scarier than the monsters.
Yeah, the monsters weren't that scary, but the way they used them at certain times were really scary. I will say that. I actually liked the characters for the most part. I liked them all. I thought they were. This isn't a very long movie, but I felt like all the characters had like a personality and like an outlook on life, and they were deeper than the average horror character, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
This is a horror movie, I would say.
It is.
But it's not a standard one. It's like a sci-fi horror.
Yeah, I want to see more horror films that involve the ocean. That's not a shark attack movie.
Yes, I would agree on that one actually, because the ocean is terrifying. And,
We're kind of burnt out on shark movies and Godzilla movies. It's like, can we have one that's different?
yeah, I agree.
I mean, I'm thinking like, well, what's different between like, say, Jaws or like Godzilla? I'm like, well, remember when I was a kid, I watched 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
Or Creature from the Black Lagoon. But we don't really get that many original new ideas for like deep sea or ocean like horror flicks.
well, we got this one.
Yeah, we did get this one, and I'm hoping it inspires more original creativity when involving the ocean for horror flicks.
I agree. I would agree. I liked Kristen Stewart in this. There was a few times in the beginning of the movie she kind of annoyed me. That was just like one or two, like the way like what she was saying, and I was just like, but I liked the majority of the characters, and I thought she actually did a good job.
Yeah, I think she did bring in a good performance. So, congrats to her. It's good to see her doing great movies again.
I would, yeah, I would also agree. Her and Robert Pattinson have gone so far.
I did really like her performance in Charlie's Angels.
Right.
That was.
I did not see that movie.
Her performance was great though.
100%. Yeah. I thought everyone did a fairly good job.
Yeah, she did a good job. Yeah, I may have wanted to see a bit more of the characters.
I was left wanting more as well.
Then I understand maybe it was just like maybe they only had X amount of time for a movie. We don't know the budget.
I felt like they chopped like the first like 20, 15 minutes off of it.
Oh yeah, because it like starts pretty quick.
Yeah, it's opening scene. It's like, oh.
Well, actually, we have the opening credits that just gives us like a mini expose of like what this drilling site is, and kind of give you a little intro to like, okay, here's a little summary of what's going on before the movie actually starts. When they do,
how did you feel about that?
I honestly didn't really. I was like,
I understand why they did it. It's just I kind of wish that
I wish they went on a different way about going about it.
Oh yeah, like I wish they had like an actual intro sequence.
Yeah, I think like the news clippings and the blueprints you see in the opening credits was kind of like, I've seen this before.
It felt very like 2000s-y, like a very 2000s-y move to do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just them to survive. It's a survival story of like six-ish people.
Six
people. And Kristen Stewart does a good job. It's scary at times. I jumped, I think, 3 or 4 times.
Six
times. You jumped every time with me, so we both jumped 6 times.
It's debatable.
What else happened?
How'd you feel about the sound?
The sound design, thank you, was phenomenal. It was like 3D sound. It was like when stuff was happening like over here on screen, the sound would shift and it would be like above you or to the left of you. And I thought it was actually really phenomenal sound design.
I do give them props for the sounds that I heard from the creatures.
Yeah, this movie did a lot of things right. I just wanted more. I just wanted more of it. I just wish it was a little bit longer. That's like the major gripe I have with it, to be completely honest. Like, I like the editing. I really like the cinematography. I loved how close it made me feel to her. Like, we would like do like inside camera shots, and like the POV shots were really cool when they were out underwater. They're in these power suits. And like they were like looking around underwater, and like they would do a POV, so you could like see the hand moving. I thought that was very cool. This is the non-spoiler section, by the way, for any of you that are new here.
What did you think of, like, what kind of cameras do you think they must have used for underwater?
I don't know, but I'm actually really curious to see how they made this one. Because
I mean, did they go to the YMCA pool? Did they go to a lake?
They might have gone to a lake. That could have actually been
like Lake Ontario or something.
I don't know. Maybe somewhere in Canada, because they have a big film thing up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they went somewhere up in Canada,
or it could have been off the Florida Keys or in the Gulf.
Yeah, it's just somewhere where it was really deep. Where it was deep. I think they might have actually, because like the underwater sequences, they are underwater, and that was practical. The suits were practical, which was the suits looked amazing. I really liked their power suits. T.J. Miller is the comic relief. What did you think he was funny?
I thought he was funny. I think it was just there's too much funny. I was like, can we dial it back a bit? Like, it was just like you just knew that anything that came out of his mouth was going to be a joke, and you're like, okay, is there anything that's gonna come out? It's not going to be a joke. But he was enjoyable. It was just
I liked his character. Sometimes I was like, okay.
I just think it was a little heavy on the jokes.
Well, that's like T.J. Miller and everything, but
I like T.J. Maxx more. But
and
yes,
yeah. What are we forgetting?
One more thing I wanted to bring up about the sound.
Yeah, tell me about the sound.
I think what I liked most about the sound was the environmental sound, more than the creature sound or the speech. I liked more like when you heard things crinking and clunking. It really sounded like it was going to like rip apart any second.
Yeah,
and that
the theater was gonna like
so
explode.
environmental. I think that it was great environmental sounds. I think that's where they excelled the most with the sound.
I would agree.
And for the power suits, I thought they were okay. I was like,
I like the suit design. I like that they felt like that they were actually in the suits while they were.
I don't know what it was, but there was something like about the suits that I'm like, I don't know. I just didn't feel like there were suits that were meant to be.
They look like space suits.
Yeah, but I didn't really believe it to be like diving suits that can withstand those kind of pressures.
But this is in the future, and those were future power suits.
Okay, I didn't really like the suits though.
It's in the future. It's in the future.
It's
Did
like-
you like the design of the suit or the concept of the suit?
I didn't like the design of the suit. I didn't think it was believable for me.
Well, you mean like within the world that they were creating? Because like they're fighting monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So which
I just didn't think it was a believable suit to withstand those kind of pressures, or that this was a deep sea suit.
okay, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I understand it's not a space sci-fi by any means, but it just looked out of place for me.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I didn't really like the concept of the suit, the look of the suit. And some parts I'm like, I don't know. There's some parts I thought were kind of plasticky about the suit.
Well, yeah, I think they were. I think that's what they are actually made of. No, okay, that's funny. Okay.
But to rate this movie, what are you going to give this?
I am wrestling with the rating on this one. I'm not sure.
Wrestling with your shadow.
You could say that. What are you thinking? Because I don't know yet.
I honestly, I wasn't blown away by this film. It was enjoyable at times. Other times I kind of felt not really invested watching the movie. And so, but I do give it applause for originality, fun concept, great environmental sounds, and Kristen Stewart, carried this movie with her acting. So I'm going to comfortably give this movie a 6, above average.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay.
And I think if it had given me a little more, just so I'd be a little more invested in the characters, but yeah, 7. I'm gonna give it a 7. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
I think it's better. I think it's best movie of January for sure. Definitely better than Bad Boys for Life, and I'm happy we saw this over that.
I think the only other movie that I am looking forward to is probably Gretel and Hansen.
Yeah, we're checking that out. We're gonna check that out.
But so far, this has been the best movie of January. Well, minus 1970 because that was technically released last year, but we saw it for the first time this month.
Yes.
So I'm very excited to see what the rest of this month has and the next month has to offer.
I would agree. And
I'm also excited to see what other roles Kristen Stewart is going to go for.
I would agree.
Thanks. Well, all right. Well, if you'd enjoy this section, you can stop now and go and book yourself a ticket or not, based on how you feel about what we have said about the review of Underwater.
Yep, and thank you guys for watching. We're going to go on to the spoiler section of the review now. So if you are planning on watching this movie, please stop now. We'll see you next time. So thank you. So we'll give you about 10 seconds.
Goodbye. Okay, well,
yeah.
so
hello.
Spoilers
We
here
are now in spoilers
about the movie Under the Sea.
Underwater Aerial Splash.
Don't make fun of Ariel like that.
I wasn't. Just being completely unironic.
But yeah, I like the character Sebastian.
Which one was he again?
That was the crab. Or was he a lobster? He's a crab.
He wasn't in the movie. You're messing with me.
Yeah, but that's what I gave the name of the monster.
That was Cthulhu, man.
Oh, what?
You don't know about Cthulhu?
This movie was not called Cthulhu.
No, Cthulhu.
So it's not Cthulhu.
Cthulhu is a big. It's probably not Cthulhu, but it looked like Cthulhu, which is like this big, like it's a humanoid monster guy with a squid face beard. And that's like what that thing was.
That thing did not look humanoid in the least.
It had arms and legs and a torso. They were humanoid in terms of.
The
like,
giant monster looked like a giant mutated shrimp.
Yeah, it had a squid face.
If I look at a shrimp, I'm like, that's pretty humanoid looking.
You don't even know what Cthulhu is, so you can't tell me it wasn't.
Okay,
but
so shrimps look like humans now.
That's not what I was saying.
All right. Well, I thought it definitely wasn't a kraken or a giant squid.
No. It looked
I know.
It looked like Cthulhu. That's what
it looked some kind of like. Okay. Well, I thought.
I'm googling Cthulhu right now, so you can like. Start.
What I thought was interesting was the many organisms that came out of it looked like the pores of this sea creature. You saw that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, that's just nasty. It just reminded me of a bunch of zits coming out.
Kind of looked like this. That's Cthulhu. And that's what they kind of look like.
Oh, minus the beard.
No, it had the beard. It had the beard thing.
It had more teeth.
Yeah, it did have teeth, but it did.
It looked like a Chinese dragon head.
Kinda.
You know, like how Chinese dragons have like the big teeth and got beard.
It had a tentacle beard, which is why I'm saying it looks like Cthulhu.
So it looks like a Chinese Cthulhu dragon.
Yes, it's actually kind of close.
Yeah, that's right on the money. That's exactly what it is. But we'll call it Sebastian for short.
Okay.
Just that's easy to say than words that could be mispronounced in a bad way. But what did you think of this concept of? So I was wondering, were you thinking like this was a themed movie, like, because we weren't told this. We just know that this was a drilling station. We think like, well, it must have been drilling for oil, maybe. Well, it wasn't specify what it was, but it was a drilling operation. And basically,
they mentioned taking something from the earth, so I'm assuming it was oil.
Yeah, I was saying maybe it was oil, or maybe it was like a natural gas pocket. I don't know. They were drilling for something.
Yeah, they were drilling for something, and the drill got torn up, and all of these creatures got flown out
from a geothermal vent.
Yeah, apparently.
I mean, we don't know for sure yet, but it is speculated that under the geothermal vent, with warmer temperatures, that there are organisms living under those geothermal vents. That's what's inspired kind of movies like Pacific Rim and other things, that when a pocket opens up, or if you watch The Meg, a pocket opens up and one of those creatures gets loose. So that idea has been used before with the geothermal vent theory in deep sea exploration. But yeah, they were drilling, and it's kind of like Mother Nature striking back in a sense against man. Would you think that was may not have been a theme?
Maybe. They kind of went like there was some like Ad Astra kind of vibes I was getting at some points with like the whole like with the soundtrack and the like when they were the way that they were floating around with the certain shots.
Mm-hmm.
But survival was a big thing. I think it was more survival.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we got again, I just wish we got more. I wish we got more of the crew, because
I want to also know a little bit more like, what is this station? I was like, I just know it's some underwater station. That's all I know.
I wish I knew more about the station and why there was no one there except for those 6 people.
Well, supposedly everyone else died or got out, but then that also wasn't very clear.
Yeah, they said it that basically that everyone on their station died. They sent like 22 people up, but I'm like, what about the rest of the people? Like, there's other stations.
Because you get to the end credits and it says only 2 survivors.
Oh, it did say that.
So I'm thinking like, wait, because they said 22 got out. Did the creatures get him, or
I'm assuming then the creatures got him. If they were
but that
flying up.
that also isn't made clear.
No, it wasn't made clear. But this, I feel like this movie had that, and then it was like chopped up before it went out to theatrical release
to the masses.
I would love to see an extended cut of this because there was a lot of really cool practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of the slow-mo that they did in there?
Okay, the first slow-mo bit that we see with Kristen Stewart in the hallway, that was cool. I did not mind that. I liked how it was like you see the bloop on her finger and then the step. I thought that scene was all right. Mm-hmm. Wasn't the best slow-mo I've seen, but it was an exciting one.
Sometimes I felt like there was too much slow-mo.
Yeah, because then after that, I'm like, okay. It was okay, but I was mostly just okay with the first one we saw. I would say the deaths in here were great.
Yeah.
How often do you see a person implode?
Not very often.
Well, first, I have not seen someone die before my eyes, but I haven't had the imagination to think what it would be like of a person imploding.
That'd be a little much. That would be a little much.
I mean, you just turn inside out and then into mush.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
That doesn't sound fun at all. Actually, no. It was awful. Like, and they did a good job of like showing that too.
But that doesn't beat the most unique death.
Which one was that?
We're talking about Bunny Man.
Bunny Man. Yes.
So what? And this made me cringe. So he's in his suit and something's pulling at him. Basically, his whole body just gets ripped out of his suit, and the blood just goes. How do you get ripped out of a suit?
I don't know. That must have been extraordinarily painful. They're in these big metal suits, and he gets ripped out of his suit.
We're not talking about your skin just getting peeled off. You're talking about your entire being just getting ripped out like slushy through a straw.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was... and you see his head just go... and boop! He was gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was an intense death. It wasn't...
It was pretty unique, though. Like, I'm like, hey, how should that guy die? He gets sucked out of his suit.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
We had another implode. There was also another imploding death. It's a lot of imploding.
What's his face?
Captain.
The captain. Yeah, that's what happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because it was like 5% integrity, 3%,
yeah.
2%. And he's like, let go.
Yeah. And forgot what I was gonna say. Chris, it ended kind of suddenly, didn't it?
Yeah, I would say it was a quick ending. Not much of like an epilogue if you were hoping for one, for more explanation or anything.
I kind of wish they didn't reveal if there was a giant monster at the bottom. I felt like it would have been more intense if they kept having to deal with those like little, like smaller creatures.
So you didn't like the big monster?
I thought that the film started to like get lower.
Mm-hmm. It was like as though the big monster knew what they were doing.
Yeah,
and I'm like, why would it know if it's just a creature?
Yeah,
like it's like, oh, I know what those things floating up. Those are pods. I'm gonna set some guys after it because we can't have people survive. I'm like,
it looked down at her and then it was like, and then it sent the guys out.
I was like, all right, I don't like it when they get like, we're supposed to believe this is a creature of the sea, and like, oh, all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
You know what I kind of wish this was? I kind of wish this was a Cloverfield universe movie.
I disagree.
You disagree?
Yeah, I think Cloverfield, I think that universe could make a cool underwater movie, but I don't think this one would be it.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first.
Yeah,
Not the Cloverfield movie.
it is not.
I think it really could have been because, like, they're doing this whole like every movie is taking place in a different universe type thing, and it's all because of the Cloverfield paradox. And I feel like that could have been because they look like the little underwater things kind of look like Cloverfield monsters a little bit, kind of like in the same way like everyone wanted A Quiet Place to be a Cloverfield movie.
Oh, speaking of which, part 2 of a Quiet Place is going to be coming out soon.
Yeah,
That's exciting, and I'll explore that universe more. But yeah, I don't feel like every supernatural or thing movie should be put under that umbrella.
that'd be cool though. I wish.
No,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
it's this.
Just
It,
those-
it wouldn't be fitting for this movie.
What are you talking about? It's,
No, I can't see this being a Cloverfield movie.
They've all been different.
Yeah, but this one's like, I don't think this is up to par to be a Cloverfield movie.
This was just as good as the Cloverfield paradox.
And that didn't do so well, huh?
No, that wasn't a good movie.
No, but I'm talking about Cloverfield and Cloverfield 10 Lane. That's the par we're talking about. I don't want another subpar paradox, because if we're just going for subpar, what's the point of doing those anymore? We have to go back.
Well, I gave it a 7, which is a good movie. I thought this was a good movie.
This was just above average. I'd say 6.
Yeah.
However, I'm glad I did see it. We've seen they've been showing the trailer for this for many months now.
Yeah, I was excited to see this. I was excited to see this for a while, and I thought it was just as good as I thought it would be. So I wasn't disappointed, as I'd say at all.
I didn't go into this with super high expectations for this movie,
I
and
didn't
I'm glad
either.
I didn't. But once again, I was impressed with the originality. It was creative, great sound design for the environment, and I think this probably is going to be one of the better of all the movies that have come out this month.
Yeah, I would agree to that. Yeah.
So for all you sci-fi writers out there, keep thinking original, especially when it comes to the sea if you're going to do a sci-fi flick. We're tired of shark movies like Sharknadoes and The Meg. We're tired of those, and we are also tired of too many Godzilla-like movies. So, please.
I want King Kong too. I will say that. I want King Kong versus Godzilla.
Oh, yeah.
I want that movie.
You know, they do have that movie. It's in black and white. I think it was 1930. So we do have it. We do have it.
I want a new one. That's what I want.
So much we should be grateful for the things we do have. Like, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I think we'll be curious to see how it turns out. I don't think it's going to do that great. I think it'll be more just like a slugfest.
Yeah, that's what I want.
I'm not really into monster slugfests,
I
though.
want to see it, and just to have it. And
Okay.
so that was a 7 out of 10 film for me.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10 for him because he hates Cloverfield.
No, I
And,
love Cloverfield. They are not up to par to the. No, they're not up to par.
Blah, blah, blah. And 7 out of 10.
I can't believe you like the Paradox one.
I would recommend it if you want to go see a movie. I haven't seen Bad Boys 2, but
Bad Boys for Life.
Bad Boys for Life, I mean, and
I think it's like the 3rd or 4th film in that franchise.
I think this is the 3rd one, right?
That would sound about right.
This is the 3rd one, and yeah. So if you are looking for a movie this January, if you haven't seen 1917 already, or if you've seen 1917, I would say then you want to see something else. I would recommend going to see it. It's a good fun time.
Yeah, it was.
It's actually pretty well shot too, and the sound design is pretty good. I just wish it was a little longer. Honestly, it's left me wanting more.
You heard it here now.
Yep. Thank you for watching, listening to Concussion Media, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you guys so much.